collaborative design, the process where the people that you are actually designing something for are part of the process of designing it, is a very powerful practice. And it's really made a difference in a bunch of sectors and industries, but it hasn't found its way into education so much. So one of the things I wanted to do as part of this service learning trip for my NYU students was to give them an opportunity to work with my middle school students, because the classes that they were building as part of this trip, the lessons they were designing, were designed for the middle school. I wanted them to experience what it's like to include the end user, the ultimate person who's supposed to use what they build, in the design process.
Pretty interesting in the sense that you have a teacher who is on one side of the table, and then you have a student who is the other side of the table, and I was in a sense required to think from both of their perspectives. So at one point in time when I was just talking to Sunoz, I was like, oh yeah, this would work perfectly. As a teacher you can see it happening, you have a vision. But then when you talk to the student, you realize, okay, this maybe is not as good as we thought. So it was very interesting because it teaches you how to put yourself in other people's shoes more and more.
It was very, 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 very helpful and very nice for the kid. First, when Rosan and I were first going through the kid and trying to figure out what to do to change it or to modify it, I wasn't really very familiar with the lesson, so it helped to have someone who tried to do it already, and he kind of provided the starting point and also the framework to go by. Then when we had an idea, these guys came in and helped us figure out how it actually works from the student's perspective. And so we were able to modify it again and try and make it better for the students rather than just what we thought of as teachers. So it was really fun. And of course we got along pretty well, so it's really good.
I got to learn from two different perspectives, because I come from a perspective of a college student, while Suresh is working here, while the child is basically he's still studying in school. So since the classes are meant for children of ages from different age groups, so we thought that it would be a good idea if we got three different perspectives, so we'd come up with something that would be as efficient as possible, because thinking from each of our perspectives, we all think different things, right? So I thought it was very helpful to come up with a plan by working with three different generations, I would say, because it helped us develop a plan that was very efficient and very successful, I would say, in the end.
So I think when you teach, most of the time you try to assume that from your experience that, well, this if you approach this way, then probably students will understand, right? But then if we have students with us, then we don't have to assume that, and probably even if you are not that much experienced, maybe if students come up with some ideas, then I think that will be very helpful.
I didn't know the teachers had to they had planned so much for the class. We worked for one whole day to design just one 45 minutes class. I know that the teachers think in a way that they want us to understand in a very easy way, and we wanted to help them to help us in a better way.
Not all of my students at NYU Shanghai will end up becoming teachers or educators. Most of them probably won't, I know this. But what I'm hoping is, having seen how powerful it is to include students as part of their learning, as part of designing their own learning experiences, I hope that this will make them stronger advocates, ultimately, for the kind of learning that puts students at the center and empowers them.